What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, and I am stoked about this one because we're getting into the nitty-gritty of baby time. Like, I'm talking baby time, the real conversations about when is it the right time, the decision to have kids. It's a huge one, and Bea and I really dive into that. When is it the right time? How will you know? How do you communicate about that? What factors to consider? Alignment between partners, all that juicy stuff. We just spent the last hour really going in on it, and I hope providing a lot of insight for you and your partner, or maybe your future partner, or the partner you already have a kid with, to make decisions that best align with each other and put you guys in a great space to have connection and feel really good about the journey of having kids. So please enjoy. We look forward to sharing this one with you. Hey, I'm Nick.
And I'm Bea.
We don't have all the answers, but we're definitely in it. And if you're ready to lead your family by being more of yourself, not less, then you're in the right place.
We are so grateful to be in this with you.
This is dadeasy. Let's get into it. All right, we are back. How do you feel about my long hair don't care season? Like, hair's growing out, beard's growing out. What do you feel about that?
It's not even close to COVID era, so it's fine.
I mean, COVID era was a little ridiculous, but weren't we all? But do you hate it? Like, are you mad at it?
No, it's just different. Sometimes I prefer like this. Sometimes I prefer shorter. So,
what times do you prefer what? How do I know that?
I don't know. It's like a feeling thing. It depends on my
Sometimes you want to
mood.
just like grab. You like to grab the back of my hair.
I do. I love it.
Not in a cute way, in a sexy way.
Excuse me. No, in a cute way.
No, you do it
No,
in a sexy way.
I am the one who decided in which way.
Today, speaking of sexy ways, we're talking about having kids.
Yeah,
how's that for an intro? Yeah, let's talk about the decision to have kids. Let's jump right into it too. Since I'm boring you with all this yawning you're doing.
I told you before, Yanni is not boring.
Yeah,
so.
Bea will preach this till the cows come home that yawning is, what is it? It's good for you.
It's just a way of your body releasing energy. And actually, when you are yawning, you are actually paying more attention than when you're not. So
I can promise you that's not always the case, because there are many times when I'm tapped out and I'm yawning because I'm tapped out. But yes, sometimes I would agree with you. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's jump right into it. When did you know it was time, darling, to... Can I say the word? No, I'll just say it. Make a baby.
Well, I think we had an interesting journey with it. I think it's like since we started the conversation about having family, not having family, like in the beginning of the relationship, you always made it clear that you wanted kids, but you would be okay if we wouldn't have kids. And like, you're never forcing me to.
I would always say, I definitely want kids, and I don't have to make the baby. So it's your body, it's your choice. I think I also, if I'm being totally transparent, I think I kind of always knew, like, there's just no way two souls like this aren't going to reproduce. There's just no way. Like, that's an interesting conversation too. Like the actual deciding, and then it's not, for those who are considering it, it's not as easy for many people.
Yeah.
To just like snap a finger and, okay, we had sex and now we have a baby. Nowadays, it's actually less common, I think, for it to be an easy experience. That it takes weeks or months, or you have to go into
years.
Yeah, years for some people. I mean, it's brutal. So it's like such an intense conversation. And then the other side of it is, once you decide together, then you don't even know
how long it's going to take.
How long that's going to take. It's really interesting. But I do feel like, if I'm being transparent, that there was never going to be a time, like, I just didn't see it happening. And maybe this is a manifestation, I don't know. But I didn't see it possible that we wouldn't have a kid. So I would say, like, yeah, if you're really against it, then okay. But I also knew, like, we're gonna do this thing. And we practiced.
Well, before you, I never had this like desire, dream, as a lot of my friends have, to be a mom or have kids and things like that. It has never been.
You never felt like you wanted to?
It's not that I never, it's not something that I was thinking about. It's never something that I was planning or dreaming or saying like, oh, I want to have 4 kids. Like, yes, when I was little and I would say like, oh, I want to have a boy and a girl, but just because it was me and my brother. So it's like, it feels like whenever you have a big family, you want to have a big family. Or if you have like one sibling, or if you're like one child, like usually you're just mirroring what you had. So when I was a child, I would think about that. But then when I start growing up, and I think thinking about my life, my focus was on my career, on like what I want to build, and then my business and how I want to impact the world. It has never been like I want to build a family and I want to have kids and I want to be a mom. I have never been someone to have kind of like this desire or dream to have as an identity as a mom. The opposite, actually. Like, I actually thought that I wouldn't be a good mom. And for this
It's
reason,
crazy. It's so
for
crazy.
this reason, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to have kids. Like, it's not if I want to have kids, it's more like if I want to be a mom kind of thing.
That's interesting. So there's a distinction between do I want to have kids or do I want to be a mom? You were caught up on the whole being a mom aspect, not on the like having kids aspect. And I think a lot of women tend to be caught up on the having kids aspect because they're scared of what happens to their body and what they go through and the
I mean, there's definitely part of that I would like think sometimes, but it's not something that was like crossing my mind all the time. Like, I have a lot of friends that they are always thinking about that I have memories of them sharing dreams that they have. Oh, I want to become a mom. I want to have kids. Like, I never had that. And then I met you, and then we start talking about building a life together, and and that's was when I started having a desire to have a family, to have kids, to become a mom, even though I still had this challenge of navigating the identity of being a mom.
I don't know if I ever told you this, and maybe because I just haven't like really. It's what I love. That's why I'm loving doing this, because I feel like we talked about this stuff, but because now we're sitting here explaining it to each other with the intention of like really informing those listening, and I'm like thinking deeper about it. So I just love doing this with you, number one. But I don't know if I've ever expressed how incredibly honored I feel and how much that means to me. And I don't think you mean to do that. But when you say, I didn't think I could do the mom thing, and then I met you and I thought I could, it's like, it's the best feeling in the world. Like, I feel empowered. I feel valuable. I feel seen. I feel enough. And I feel like I made the right decision. It's like the best feeling in the world. And I don't know if I've ever expressed that. So thank you for saying that to me.
Oh, this makes me emotional.
Me too. Yeah. I mean, the original question here is when did you know, like at what point did you know it was time to start having kids? Because what I recall, can I get like the brief? Yeah.
No.
So she goes
Absolutely
to
not.
saying it. She went to a retreat by herself in Colombia. I might have said this already, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. Whatever. She went on a retreat in Mexico or Colombia, and she said she was going to stay like 2-3 days after the retreat and just have her alone time, like girl time by herself. So she went to this little island in Colombia somewhere and stayed at a hotel. It was super cute, like tanning all day, being delicious. And before that, she was like, maybe in 3 years, maybe in 5 years. I mean, at this point, she was like 31. So maybe 32 even at this point.
No, 32. No.
Yeah.
No. I was
Okay.
30.
So, 31.
I was 30.
And she was just like, she came home and was like, impregnate me. I was like, what? She's like, I'm ready. Let's have a baby right now. And I was like, wait, what is in the water in Colombia?
Let me give you an explanation. I was in a personal development conference where we were talking about next steps in life. And I had a deep conversation with a man who was probably
give me his name and number.
68 years old. He was much older than me, like more than double of my age.
Very, very specific.
Something like that. close to 70. That's what I mean. And he had kids. And one of the things that he said to me, we were talking about kids, and I was telling him that I was like, yeah, maybe in 4 years, 5 years. And there's something that he said that triggered something in me that shifted the conversation on kids, which was something that I have heard many times before. But it's that thing, like sometimes you hear things many
10 times over, and it just takes that one
and
time.
then takes one time to something shift in you. And when he said, I wish I have had kids sooner, and I wish I could say this to more people, something in me triggered that was like, yeah, why am I like keep pushing it? Why am I like, is it like coming from a place of fear? Because I don't want to be someone making decisions from a place of fear. And that was what generated the conversation with you. And then I was joking when I went
conversation.
To you, and I said, okay, let's have a baby right now. Just like it was.
She literally came home, like ripped her clothes off, was like, let's have a baby.
No, that's not true.
It's kind of how I remember
it.
Something like that.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that conversation was a moment that I start to shift things in me. And when I came home and we were having a conversation, I was like, okay, let's try it now. It was not literally, let's try it now. It was like, let's start really the conversation about it. And because we haven't really had deep conversation about what is to start having kids.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by that. It's like the moment that we decide we want to have kids, there are a lot of conversations that we need to have in order for us to really like open the doors to make it happen.
Yeah, there's so many things that we've like had to sit down and talk about. And it immediately opens doors to a lot of like pressure points, trigger points, like things that we don't want to talk about. It's frustrating to talk about. It's heavy to talk about. And there's so many different departments of that: work stuff, financial stuff, emotional stuff, body stuff, time stuff, vision for our life stuff. I mean, as a couple we live in Austin, Texas, we were here for 2.5 months of 2021, or what are we, 2025 now? So 2023
when we moved.
2022. No, I think it was 2023.
2022 when we moved here.
Yeah, but like that next year, whatever. For a year, we were here for collectively 2.5 months, and then the next year, 2 months. Like 4.5 months collectively in 2 years, we were home. The rest we were traveling.
Oh.
We're a travel couple, and I don't know if that's necessarily going to stop. I know it's going to change and look very different, but we kind of have this travel bug in us. We like to see the world. So like that was a big one. And there's an identity crisis thing that happens with all that. So I think that's part of that conversation, but it was like you hit this point, and it sounds like this guy allowed you to get there. You hit this point where you were like, I'm open to it. Now, I guess my question is, how, for like dudes listening, dads, how as a woman do you know, or what did you need? I guess really the question is, how should a guy approach that conversation even? Is it just like, hey babe, I want to have kids?
Well, I feel like it's much easier for a guy to approach this conversation, because if a guy is thinking about having kids, I feel like guys have
30 seconds of effort and then we're done.
Exactly. Guys have usually a much more like, well, what I want to say is usually women are the ones who have this desire before men, I think. Maybe in the past. And I think it's harder for women to bring that up in a conversation, which I don't know. I feel like it's much easier for a man to come and say like, like I want to talk about having kids.
I don't think that's fair to say, because there's also so many women who are like, since like 16, they're like just trying to find a guy to like do the damn thing. Like, let's go.
Here in the
like,
US, not in Brazil.
All right. Well, in the US, it's like chicks are like, come on, let's go. And again, not always, because then those are the girls who are like, I don't want to. I mean, we're obviously pigeonholing into like one type of person. I think there's a variety of different type of people. There's guys who like want to start, guys I'm around right now who are like young, 25, and they're like, oh my God, my dream is to start a family. And then there's gals I'm around who are like, I'm so sick of this timeline. I'm like 35, 36. I don't have a partner yet that I want to do that with. And I don't even like want to think about it yet.
Mhm.
And it feels like I have to rush to do this and freeze my eggs and like that whole process. So I've also seen chicks who are like ready at 19, 20, or at least they think they are, and they want to push it. So I don't know if it's fair to say necessarily. I think for you, the approach of the conversation was me just kind of, what was it? Like,
I mean, it's so personal and it's so unique. Like, I don't think we can speak on that because it's like, for me, it was much easier because you were someone who was vocal about it, and I always wanted to have kids and to build a family.
yeah.
And that's not the case. I think that there are a lot of guys that they are scared of having kids or even getting married and then having kids. And I feel like when you are in a situation, in a relationship where there is one person or maybe two in the relationship that like maybe they see this in the future, but they are not considering this right now. But it's much easier for men because men can have kids until they are like much older.
Yeah.
That's not how it works for women.
Well, let me also be clear. We're talking about I always wanted kids and whatever. I've been terrified at the idea of starting a family. So I can want kids, but also be like, oh, I'll start when I'm like 60 because then I've lived enough life.
That's also something that pissed me off, and we can get into that maybe later. But when I brought it up, the thing of like, okay, let's have a kid. That was the moment that you were like, oh, wait, no.
Yeah, you pushed, I backed up.
Yeah, I didn't push. I just brought it up. I didn't push. I just brought it up, and that was the moment that I kind of hesitated because you were like, no, like not now. And then
well,
like,
it was
that
this you kind of in a way called the bluff, right? Because I was the one initiating. So this actually answers what we were talking about before. I think I was definitely the one initiating. Like, we should really start talking about this.
Mhm.
You're 30, and I want like 3 to 4 kids, ideally, which means we got to start popping them out, right? Timeline wise, and like sometimes the timeline is just a great guide. Like, I feel like God kind of sets timelines in place to kind of guide decision making. And I was starting to feel like my mom started having kids at 25, 26 or 27. Oh no, maybe 20.
You need to think.
No, 27. At 27. And I was like, much longer. Like, I watched my parents get to experience high school graduations and college graduations and be vital and alive and mobile and totally present for me because of the age and their ability to do so. And the thought of like, okay, I would love to live my life for 50 years and then become a dad. That's not considering like the second half of dadhood where you want to meet your grandkids, you know, if your kids decide to have them. You want to be vital and vibrant in the time when your kids are like, you want to be running around with them and have the energy to do so. So that started to dawn on me. And I did realize the same thing. Everything that I was waiting for or resisting was fear-based.
Mhm.
It was all, I'm scared that I won't, I'm nervous that I can't provide, that I don't have my life set up enough. Like, it's so delusional thinking that for most people, I think that life should be like perfectly set and perfectly in place. You know, people always say there's never a right time. I agree with that to a certain extent, but even more so, I think it's just important to acknowledge that like we're always evolving. And maybe luckily you're one of those people that like I don't know, like you look around and you're like, it's time to have kids and this is the right time. We were not that. We're like, you know, we got some financial things really that we're struggling with, or we got some like our situation with parents being in Brazil and New York. Like, how do we navigate that? And we live in Texas. Like, this is crazy. So I remember when you then came back, like I had been kind of softly pitching the idea, and then you came back to me and were like, let's go. That I was like, oh, and that's when I actually confronted a lot of these things, and that scared me.
Yeah.
But you know, I couldn't encourage somebody more. Like, again, we talked about this in another episode, just like the masculine energy is to hold shit down, right? Is to like be the I don't know, like grounding force. And in that moment, I was feeling so confused and so ungrounded. And that's what initiated that conversation. So I think it comes back to what we talked about in another podcast: communicate. being able to start the conversation and get uncomfortable communicating about it, that's definitely what happened for us. That allowed the thing to start moving. Do you agree?
Yeah, there's definitely a part of me that got a little bit frustrated, and
Yeah, because I was pushing and then you were like, I'm here now. And then now you're not pushing and backing up.
yeah, and it's also like makes you like questioning like all this time that he was like saying that he wants to do that,
Did
and
he
now he's
actually
like,
mean it?
yeah. So it's kind of like was tough for me, and it took me probably a good like 4 to 6 months where I was kind of into that.
You were pissed.
Yeah,
You're pissed. I
yeah.
remember. And I think, if I could go back and if I would do it differently, I think I would just have expressed a little more. Like when you said yes, it just became more real for me and more things came up for me. And I thought I said that. Maybe I wasn't even clear about that at the time, as clear as I am now. But I think that's important for the masculine figure here to like just, again, communicate, saying, I love you. This is not like, I can see why that would ruin your desire to have kids because now it's like, I can't even, like, there's a trust that was broken. It took you so much to build up the courage to say, I'm ready because of what's going to happen to your body, what's going to happen to your life, blah, blah, blah. And now you're backing up. And I think if I had communicated more throughout, I think I was just in this like kind of light, joyful of like, let's do it. Come on, like poking at it to start the conversation. But then when it became real, I felt like I had to pause. And another thing also that is challenging is to know when your partner wants to make a big decision because they feel like they have to, or they feel like there's a force or a push versus when it's actually something they want. And this was so overnight for me. Like you were gone and then you came home and you were like, let's rock and roll.
At this point, you should know me. Like, that's kind of how I operate.
I know. You're very intuitive. And when the time comes to make a decision, you go for it. And this is by far the biggest decision of our life. So it's not just like spread your legs, let's rock and roll. It's like, like we have to consider a lot of things. So the fact that you were just like, let's go, made me concerned. It's kind of like when people kind of go off the deep end mentally. They're just like very forceful and very like, they just start saying shit that's very aggressive.
Yeah. And I think I could have expressed better because my intention was not like, okay, let's make a baby right now. My intention was absolutely not that. My intention was like, let's seriously talk about that.
And do you remember, because I remember this vividly, you also were like getting very like, come on, like very, what's the word?
I'm afraid of
encouraging more sexy time for this purpose. Like you were getting very like, come on, you don't want to about that topic.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I remember. And then I felt like kind of uncomfortable because I felt like there was more to talk about. And then I felt like I didn't want to have sex because I was like,
oh, you had a phase of that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like,
which it just pissed me off even more.
Right, exactly. And that's when it gets tricky because there was so much going on. Bottom line is communication. You got to start to talk about it and all the fears that are coming up, because when fears are in your head is when they're powerful. But when they're spoken out, that's when things can start to lose their power. The fear can lose its power.
Yeah.
What did you need from me? Like I'm hearing what I wasn't doing right. But ultimately, what did you need from your husband to feel ready?
Definitely a sense of safety in the decision and more like conversations, open conversations about that. I don't feel like you were someone who was like expressing and clear for yourself what were the fears that you were having in that moment. So I feel like was just like you gave a step back and I was kind of like, wait, now you're afraid? Like what's going on? So I was kind of like not understanding what was happening.
So you need your husband not to be afraid?
It's not that I need you to not be afraid. I needed you to, if you are afraid, be aware that you're afraid and talk about it, communicate about it.
Yeah, but that's tricky because what you're saying you need is like confidence and like groundedness. And I remember feeling nervous and afraid and feeling like if I talk to her about this, because she's already like,
but
sensitive.
you were not honest with me saying that you were afraid.
I wasn't. honest. That's correct. I wasn't expressing that. But do you hear why? I wasn't expressing it because I was nervous that if I expressed it, then you would be like, then we shouldn't do this. And
But
then I'd
that's
miss
what
my
was
chance.
pissing me off. That's what it was not giving me the confidence that I needed. And that's what I'm saying. It's what I needed in a moment. I needed more clarity. I needed more honesty. I needed more transparency of what you were going through and like what was going on. So it was kind of like just gray area where I kind of like know what you're navigating because I know you, but at the same time, you're not talking about it. So I'm like assuming in my head and creating stories in my head. And that's what was creating just like this weird thing. So what I needed to be like more confident or like whatever it is that I was navigating, I think was like more honesty, transparency, and I needed the safety of like, okay, we are making this decision together.
And if I think, just in general in life, honesty is the best policy, is what my mom would always say. And I think truth always comes out and truth always wins. So like you can try and deny the truth, especially in intimate partnership, as long as you'd like, but ultimately you're going to visit that truth at some point. So when it's a conversation like this, that's time bound, that's important, talk about it.
Well, there are a lot of people that they get very, very good in not telling their truth. So it's like something that it's literally one of the most important decisions of your life. You can hide for a long time and not really like express what you think and what you feel about it. So
you're saying people do that?
Yeah.
Well, my recommendation is don't.
Yeah.
And really with everything in life, like it's like, I think we said this in a previous
Honesty
podcast.
is just so much better.
It's like you're going to get
like this.
The pain is coming either way. It's going to hurt either way. You're either going to be honest now, it's going to create discomfort, but then you'll grow through it. And that has rung true for us all the time.
Yeah.
Or you're going to hold out. That's called resentment. And that shit builds up. And then it's going to blow up and it's going to be something that's really hard to confront. Way harder.
I feel like, I don't know why this example is coming, but we have a close friends that they were a couple and one of them wanted kids and the other one didn't want kids. And you might be in a situation like this where one of you want kids and the other don't. And I think being postponing the conversation, not being honest, like in some point, the truth will come out and you both will see that you want different things in life. And it's a tough thing. But in my opinion, my perspective, it's better to just have this conversation up front, decide how long you want to stay in this. And for them, they broke up. They are not together anymore. And they are happier now. Although it was very difficult for them because they really love each other. They were just not meant to be together because they wanted different things.
Yeah, it feels like that type of communication about that topic is so important. Obviously, we're not ever going to align on all the same things.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like children or not, reproducing or not, if your partner and you are not aligned in some capacity, even open to the conversation, I mean, you could spend time, money, effort, energy, like building a relationship and then get married and all that stuff and realize like, I can't marry someone who's not willing to like do that journey with me.
Yeah.
I think I get why people avoid the conversation. Don't hold out is my recommendation. Like just don't hold out for it. Yeah. By the way, people can change like you did. You know, people can change. And that's where like gut play comes in. You know, I always felt from like literally the day we met, I was like, this could 1000% be the mama bear. Like,
but I also have never been someone that was a hard no for kids. That it's not that I was like, oh, a hard no, and then I changed.
Yeah.
I mean, might happen, maybe.
Yeah.
But it was just not like this.
So with all this, like, okay, wait, where are we? What do we got? You're at 21, almost 22 weeks tomorrow?
Yeah, 22 weeks tomorrow.
So we got a couple months left.
Halfway, yeah.
First, what were you most afraid of? We kind of tapped into it a little bit, but like when we first started having this conversation, I think the pregnancy story like is another story for another day. But it was a surprise to both of us. Kind of like
Yeah.
I'll say short version was that I'm so grateful to say this. It's so blessed to say this that we decided on what, like October.
Well, I was not on birth control for 2 years.
Yeah.
At this point, we were always like very conscious and avoiding to have kids. Like
Yeah.
we
Learn
were,
your cycle, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah.
Like get with your partner. There's apps for it.
Mhm.
Learn what are the danger days of getting pregnant.
I
And we would
mean,
just work around that
of
stuff.
course, there are a lot of women that they are not regulated with their hormones, and
Fair.
that makes much more difficult to learn about your body. But I went through a whole journey where I had to learn, and I had to like regulate my hormones, and I had to learn about my body. I had to learn about all the phases in my cycle, and that journey was so essential for me to get into a point where I knew that
That was the acne journey. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I knew that whenever I would decided to have kids, it would happen. That's a belief that I had.
Yeah.
And I knew exactly when I was ovulating. I knew exactly when I would have my period. So like I was
And you worked for that shit.
I did, absolutely did.
For, like,
because
2
I was
years.
not like this. Yeah. And so then we got into a point where we were like, okay, what if we just stop avoiding? It's not that we were like making a decision of this month, we're gonna try this day and then try this. And like we didn't do any plan related to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was kind of this, well, first of all, it's a hot topic and I don't think we dive fully into this right now. But that is something that, Bea said she always heard from doctors when she was growing up, like, dude, if you even smell semen, you're going to get pregnant.
That's not exactly what they said, but yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's how they talk in Brazil. So she kind of had this story, whether it was true or not, that she was a very fertile person. And then she went into the spiritual side where like, coaches or whatever
astrology
readers,
like
all that stuff.
Mediums, whatever.
Would always say you have at least 2 kids, right? Ready?
You have a boy and a girl waiting for you to just say yes.
You have a boy and a girl waiting to say yes. So Bea had this mentality that she was willing, able, fertile, and like the moment she decided that kid would come in. This is more of the spiritual stuff. I will always believe that plays a significant role. And then there's so much science behind this. What we think manifests, right? Like that's a whole nother podcast. But like the stories you tell yourself start to show up in your life. You've been telling yourself that since you were like 16.
More like 20, but yes.
You said when you went to the doctor, all right, whatever. It was a long time. It was enough time. 12 years of the same story and like consciously thinking about it. That plays a role in how your body responds to things. It definitely plays a role in how your nervous system responds to things. The stress, I think when people decide they're going to get pregnant or they want to, it becomes this like heavy, we got to figure it out and like timing and hustle and whatever. And something I so admire about you is you just kind of made that statement, and whether or not it was true, you just decided to believe it. And I think that made a huge difference going into this. My mentality, I never even questioned it. I never even thought like, would I be able to get pregnant? Like, am I fertile?
Isn't that so amazing that guys usually don't even think about that?
Don't even think about it.
It's not.
And I don't know if that's true for every guy. I think it's becoming more popular for guys to check and test and see how fertile they are. And I love it. My mentality was always like,
I doubt it.
I'm good. And I'm going to make it happen when the time comes. I've been preparing for this moment.
30-second miracle.
30-second miracle. Honey, tell them how long it really was.
Okay.
2-hour miracles, baby. Nonetheless, I think what was really exciting was that there was a moment where we decided early October. And then 10 days later?
No, 5 days later. 5 days. We said, let's stop avoiding. And then 5 days later, I got pregnant.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Happened so fast. So I think there was like such a surprise and a shock to it.
Definitely a big shock.
A big shock. So it kind of hit us fast. And then you surprised me with the information in the middle of a big argument we were having. And I guess like what were you most afraid of? Because the reaction video, go to my Instagram or her Instagram. There's a reaction video. It was October. No, when did we post that? Maybe January of 2025. January-ish of 2025. It's like an amazing reaction video. You see Bea's reaction was hilarious. Very concerning. You would think that she made a horrible decision. Nonetheless, what were you afraid of originally when that happened?
Well, I feel like in terms of being pregnant, being a mom, I was afraid of many things. I was afraid of, changing my life. I was afraid of not being able to be the entrepreneur, badass businesswoman, and like kind of like lose my life. Like my whole life would become being a mom and, running to get the toddlers or, like just this story of like how your life changed, priority changed, which it is true. But I was afraid of not liking that and not having a choice. So that's kind of like the biggest thing that I was afraid of. But then when I got pregnant, I think what hit me in terms of the shock is that I spent most of my life avoiding something and terrified of what my mom would think if I get pregnant. Because I grew up with a very severe mom where like sex we're strict.
Also severe, but we'll go with strict.
Where having sex should be only after marriage, very religious background. So I think I had this so deep into my brain that the moment that I got pregnant, all my fears,
something went wrong.
Like all my fears came up in a way that I did not control. It was just an automatic shock that I was like, holy moly, I'm screwed. Like my mom's gonna kill me. I'm like 32 years old. Don't live with my mom a long time, but it's like, that's my immediate reaction. That's like my automatic reaction.
So I think it's really important, guys, to listen to what she's saying. Your woman has so much history because she's a human being. And that's mommy daddy stories. That's stories about femininity and women and her body and fear of birth, fear of parenting, fear of being enough, fear of showing up, fear of death, fear of like, there's so much that comes up in that moment. And I think the tendency often is for guys to like make your reaction mean something about them. So like, I hope you never felt that from me, because my brain from the start was like her freak out mode and her like nervousness and her lack of confidence when it did actually happen. I know you were terrified, was like, I knew that was a you thing, and not to throw it on you, but I just, because I knew you enough, it was kind of this just like, I know that this is her journey where she's at, and I respect her and I respect her journey, and I respect that there's so much that comes up. So dudes, just remember, it might not be about you. It probably isn't about you if she does kind of have this fearful reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And if she has a joyful reaction, that also might not be all about you either, which is interesting. Like it might be about her journey and what she wants as a kid. So just detaching a little bit and not making it so like personal, but it's a very personal thing because it's also your kid. So just want to point that out. So you were scared kind of like the mom thing, that I've done something wrong thing. And
also the body thing as well. Like there's definitely like, I don't think I'm navigating with, a lot of my friends are navigating kind of like this journey of accepting yourself in this new body and like gaining weight and feeling like your belly exploding and things like that.
Yeah, but this is fucked up because you look so fucking delicious right now.
In your perspective,
you're so hot and glowing. Like
I don't feel like I am, but I also don't. I'm not opposed to. I'm not having a hard time with. I know it's a process. I know it's a phase. I know it's something important. And I'm like, I'm happy to see my belly growing because it means that the baby is growing well. And I always had this belief as well that watching some of the women that I watched on Instagram or like, in life, having babies, and then after that having their like the best shape of their life after having babies, I'm like, Heck yes. Can't wait to have a baby. And
Dude, I totally see you being like the badass with the huge comeback.
I really hope so. But there's also a part of me that it's like, oh, what if I don't? But it's like, it's the same thing as like, anyway. So I'm holding into the beliefs that actually support the vision that I have instead of trying to like worry about what's going to happen with my body.
Also, like it's ignited a whole new level, I think. I mean, you definitely eat too much at times, but and I don't mean that as like
But I used to do that before.
Yeah. No, not really. Not to the I mean, yes, sometimes.
Absolutely.
But you were like in the beginning, like I'm eating for 2, even though I'm eating for 16 right now. Like you were very into
I couldn't barely eat in the beginning.
Not in the first trimester, the beginning of the second trimester. You were like loving the idea of just ripping more food. And I think that that's also kind of the fun of being pregnant is like you could just eat a lot more. But I do want to point out that like you've always been a healthy person, minus your insane addiction to sugar. But the level in which you've committed to like really stepping up your health game is pretty awesome. Like you're really doing the best you can to get to the gym regularly, like almost every day. Even when you're tired, even when your body's all bit like you're training freaking hard. Check out those posts. She's badass. And then just like the food quality, like our house only has organic now. I think sometimes we buy pineapple that isn't organic because it's
like a few things we don't.
Yeah, but pretty much all organic, which I'm grateful to say we can figure out how to afford. And like just your commitment to the healthy eating. And now reading some of these books. Where's that book? I don't know the title of it, but
the vaccine friendly plant, something like that.
The vaccine friendly plant or something like that. Jeez, man. Just reading about like plastics in your house and using BPA free things and the toxicity in Tylenol and that you shouldn't be having Tylenol, which the doctors say you should take instead of ibuprofen because like just there's so much stuff and it's not small stuff. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's like stuff that literally creates ADHD for your children or autism. And like, we just kind of like, oh, shucks, my kid has autism. No, it's like you did that. You did that by eating shit and by drinking shit and by giving vaccines that have shit in them. Again, super spicy topic, but there's a lot of information out there about it.
You know, something that I really want to shout out to you, and I feel like I wish every man would navigate the same, which is your commitment since I got pregnant. Like, you really start researching about it, like the test on the mutation of like the folic acid.
Oh yeah, dude, just check out the folic acid mutation, how important that is, or your wife's gonna go crazy postpartum.
That's one of the things that it's like right when I got pregnant, you found that out and you went and figure out how to do the test about it and how you're like reading these books and interested in the topics and going with me to the centering, the birthing classes and curious about it. And it's just like, it just makes the journey so much easier.
Yeah. Thank you. And my thought was always this, you've got to carry a human and make a human and tear your body to shreds in the process. The absolute least we can do is show up in the education department. And also, I mean, we're trying to have a natural birth. So there's also this whole part where I'm going to have to start playing this role as we get closer to the time and during the time where I'm going to be the one holding it down. And there's going to be decisions to be made. You know, God forbid we can't have it at the birthing center we're having it at, and we need to go to the hospital. Like, who's going to be communicating to the doctor when she's screaming in pain and trying to like figure out how to pop a baby out of her vajayjay? It's probably not a time for her to be communicating about that stuff. I need to be educated and like grow the fuck up is what I want to say to the guys. And granted, everybody's situation is different. Some dudes are working crazy schedules, simply don't have a lot of time, but like you got weekends or you make time, you figure it out. It's one of the most important moments of your life. You figure out a way to get educated. Listen to podcasts that talk about it, audiobooks, whatever. ChatGPT now is like you can just access so much. So my thought is if you're going to do all the heavy lifting, which you don't really have much of a choice, then there's certain things I'm going to pick up. Like this is one of them, is And I want to educate you as well. So it's not just like me getting educated so I know shit. It's me getting educated so that we can be educated.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also learning a ton too, and like educating yourself, doing a hypnobirthing course and all that. So I think it's a non-negotiable. And I just looked at it as like a team thing. It's just exciting to play a significant role on the team. And I want to look back.
It just makes so much better the journey.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when I look back on the pregnancy, I want to be able to say I played as much of a role as I possibly could to support, and not even for my kid. I want to say that, like, yeah, I was there with it, for it. I went to all the birthing classes. I figured out all the information I need to figure out. Like, I did my shit. That's what would make me proud. So yeah.
And I think that's why exactly, like, I knew you would be like that. That made my decision of wanting to be a mom and having a baby much easier. And I feel like when you have a partner like this and you have the safety of knowing that the partner will show up for you, just makes the decision much easier. And
so speaking of the decision, how do you make the right decision? How do you know you made the right decision? Did we make the right decision? Uh-oh.
Well, I know you don't think like that, but I still don't know. Like, I still don't have baby here. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm pregnant. I'm 22 weeks pregnant. I don't have the baby in my hands yet. I'm very excited for this moment. But like,
it's going to be so cool when we do a podcast and like the baby's in your arms. Let's fucking go. Let's go.
So I don't know. I can't speak from like the future. I feel like right now I'm very happy we made this decision. I'm very grateful for it. And that's it. I don't know if it's like in the future I'm going to say like, I think I'm going to say it's the best decision I ever made. But I feel like you are already like into that.
Listen, dude, here's dads. Again, authority and hold it down. The decision is made. A baby's coming. Why even consider the question, is it right? It's right. It's happening. It's reality. Like, it is what it is. We're doing this thing. So why even ask the question? The quality of your life is dependent on the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Yes, we're almost done, honey. Don't worry. She's like, what time is it? I'm going. So if you are even asking that question, you're putting yourself in a bad position because you have to answer it. So like, did we make the wrong decision? That's a terrible question because you're going to find proof for the answer, right? I would even invite you.
It's just open space for you to question if you did or did not.
If you did or didn't. Like, why even open that space? The bottom line is, this is our reality. This is happening. How can I embrace this and decide? Make a decision. This is called like creating your life rather than being a victim or in the passenger seat of your life. Make a decision. It's the best thing that ever happened to you. That's what I did. Like, sitting on that couch when you told me, within those like 2 minutes of like shock. Oh my God, this is so amazing. Blah, blah, blah. Then it was just like, from this point forward, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. And I only look at the whole experience from that lens, because then I find the reasons for that to be true. That it's like, I don't know if we'd be doing this. We've talked about wanting to do something cool like this for so long. Yeah. And like, here we are doing it. And I think baby Figgy did this. By the way, we call our baby Figgy. It's not the baby's name, but it's the pregnant name. Love it. Because at one point, the size of the fig, and that's when we told everybody. Okay. So yeah, I think, why even ask a dumb question? Because you're going to get dumb answers. And if what you want to do is have a thriving life, a dadeasy life, like, then you need to decide that this is the best fucking thing that has ever shown up in your life. It's the greatest gift. And it really is. Like, if you understand the miracle of what's going on, dude, I cannot wait for you guys to just see, if you're not a dad yet, to see ultrasound moments. And just like, I watched many women become pregnant. And like, I mean, I didn't watch the process of them becoming pregnant. I watched, they're pregnant now and I'm watching the belly grow, and it was like, whatever. Then you watch your partner get pregnant. It is the most magical thing ever to just like every day wake up. I swear she looks bigger every day. Like, her belly just starts growing, and just being present with that miraculous process. It is so amazing. I'm like, oh, and I've decided that. I decided that. And we have plenty of reasons. We have plenty of reasons for that, to believe that. We also have plenty of reasons to be stressed, worried, and say this is the wrong time. This is like too much to handle. It's so stressful. It's like, I can find plenty of reasons for that. And every time I do, I feel like total shit. I can guarantee you that. So why even go there? Okay, it's not the right time. You win. Now what? Now your life sucks because that's how you see your world. I just made a decision, and I know you did too. So we're just like leaning in. So is it the right decision? Dumb question. This is the best thing that ever happened. Why? Answer that. Like, why is this perfect? It's one of the most powerful questions on the planet. Okay, last little thing. Do you have anything else to say about that?
No.
What are you most excited about?
I'm most excited about something that it's completely uncertain, something that it's about to change our lives. I'm excited about a new journey. I'm excited about literally bringing a life into this world. It's just freaking insane and the most miraculous thing to be able to bring a human into Earth. And it's like, it's crazy. It's completely crazy. So I'm most excited to meet this new human that we are bringing to the world and have our lives completely changed by it.
I really am happy this is recorded because I feel like this part's going to fade. Like once you do it once or twice, whatever, or 6 times. But like that first baby, the feeling is like, dude, we just did one of our favorite activities and it created a human. Like, we created a human. I'm saying it and probably you're listening and being like, okay, get over it. But like when it's yours, when you're watching it live and you realize that just like your human existence and her human existence and the coming together of that and love and the connection that created that and the trust is what created this thing, it just feels miraculous.
I mean, just I think it's only when you go through it that you really understand the craziness of it. But it's just like we act as a normal thing, as like, oh yeah, she's pregnant, like, oh, a baby. It's like, how crazy is that? Literally, this little thing inside of the guys go into the body of the woman and literally create a human, and then there's a baby growing into your belly that every day it's developing heart, brain,
so crazy,
hearing, digestion, and the spine, and like it's just the craziest thing. So,
I mean, one of the things though, like I think that's really important to just for me is realizing how normalized this miracle is.
Yeah.
And such is life. There's miracles happening every day all over. Not to be like inspirational for a second, but to be inspirational for a second. There's miracles. Maybe not to this craziness. This is just the ultimate miracle. But there's miracles happening everywhere all the time. And what would change in our lives if we started to normalize miracles? Like if we just noticed how normal it is to have a miraculous change in your bank account, to have a miraculous change in your partnership situation, to have a miraculous transformation in, your living situation, your work situation. What if we just made that normal? I think it'd be the coolest thing.
Yeah.
So you're excited about that. I'm excited about, I feel like this answer is going to change once the kid's here. Right now, my answer feels selfish and I feel a little silly about it, but I'm just going to be honest. I feel like I have had a really challenging last 3 years personally. And already I feel a change internally because this kid's coming into the world. There's like a new level of responsibility, new level of commitment, new level of opportunity, just new stuff coming up. And I think I'm so excited for where this is going to lead me. Like already here we are building a podcast around this idea, like a passion project is coming out of this before the kid even showed up. I'm so grateful that God is giving me this life to help grow and nurture, because I think as I support it, it's going to support me in my direction in life. And I've been praying a lot for direction. And I think this is like the most direction I've ever gotten before. So I'm really excited for my own personal journey and what's going to happen. And, it's like, if it's a boy, we don't know. We're not going to find out until the day of. But if it's a boy, like, that's going to be a wicked journey, because there's so much like daddy son things that I am still navigating with my dad that I get to kind of like work on, heal through, whatever, through a boy. If it's a girl, oh my God, I'm literally going to just smush this little thing to the moon and back. And either way, it's just going to be this incredible journey. And I'm so excited for who I'm becoming because of it. That's what I'm most excited about. But I think that's going to change once the kid's in my arm. It's going to be like all focused on the kid. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for that. I don't know. We'll see. All right. I'm obsessed with you, and I'm really freaking pumped we made a baby together.
Me too.
And for those of you who are like in that journey, thinking about it, exploring it, this is a really gut, heart, trust thing. And there's we're giving our example, hopefully to inspire, to offer insight. Maybe none of this resonated with you, but whatever did resonate with you, I really encourage you to act on it, to implement. Like, if it's a conversation with your partner that needs to be had, if it's having these conversations earlier, if it's like pulling the trigger because we're only making decisions out of fear, and it's time to like make decisions out of what you want, not your fear.
Oh man, I can't wait to have someone reaching out after they listen to this podcast and said, you know what? After I listened to that, I decided to
have sexy time.
Yeah, and to have a baby. And here it is,
cool.
My wife, and she's 6 months pregnant. I don't know.
Just name the baby Nikki.
Or Beatrice.
Yeah. Beatrice. So thank you for those who made it this far and are listening. And we never share this stuff with any intention of attacking other people's opinions or experiences. All we're doing is giving our own. And it's worked really well. A lot of this stuff has worked really well for us. Bottom line is, you are who you are. And you have your own journey and your own experience. Trust that. Trust that you know the right time. Keep practicing. Trust in yourself. Your heart knows. It's a big topic. It's a huge topic. It's maybe the biggest topic, but one that I absolutely adore exploring with you. And I'm so grateful to be doing this with you and just doing this podcast. It's so much fun. I hope you guys keep coming back with us. This is like just the coolest thing. It's the bee's knees. So we will see you all on the next one. I love you like crazy. Thank you for doing this with me. See you guys on the next episode.
Bye.